Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oh, finally! Did I not make that connection last time? I'm pretty sure I
Was the body
did.
discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
I mean... so I had to connect the third statement with the second statement. Really, the other way around, that didn't count then? I'm pretty sure I did. Like, if I did, I'm going to, like, edit in the fucking clip right now.
Maybe the announcement was
Intended to signal someone else's discovery.
If not, then, well, I guess fuck me. But that's stupid, then, if that's the case. Anyway, hey everybody, my name is Fleubischer and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa Trick Happy Havoc. In the last episode, we had some more trials, you know, disputing evidence, trying to prove things, the usual stuff. Then the last statement was I just couldn't understand. I have to look back at the other episode for this one, but like, that makes no sense. Why that specifically?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Just like I said last episode. And the second time was... no. Just after... Wait, just okay, no, I guess... I couldn't remember exactly when it happened.
Shoot.
But no, then it was indeed when we discovered. Alright. No, you know what? I give the game shit for like the last statement, but this one's my fault.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
But technically, Hifumi wasn't dead at that time, so that's kind of weird, but oh well. Yeah, you know.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly,
Yeah.
I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Oh, please don't make it another push apartment. Oh yes, the glasses!
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
There we go. There was a difference.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
It was... Let's see... There it is. The glasses cloth.
It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
That would really surprise me though.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then,
Yeah, that would be true.
if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
But why did he want to play dead then? Then afterwards to just be
And if
killed.
Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Well, it's not Taka. Then it was Hifumi?
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
Oh wait. But I think there is someone who would be able to order around
While we
Hifumi.
were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right?
So...
So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the
Ooh,
door
I
was
think I
locked.
know who the killer is.
And the repository
I mean, I
door
have no
can only be
suspicions on her
locked
for a
from the
while,
inside.
but
Which means when
it makes
Hina
more
and
and more
Sakura
sense.
got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
oh yes. So he took this from Taka because the handwriting would of course prove who did it.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Can we stop talking about Hifumi's pants, please?
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole, maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 AM.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 AM.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's No, it's Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Why do you keep calling her Genocide Jack if the nameplate is Genocide Jill? Did no one like saw this and it's like, hey, should we change this up? It really bothers me actually. Oh well. Wait, that's not.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Ah, fuck.
Huffy had the note,
Because the
right?
Pokemon Wristwatch is
Then
at
the person it
6
was
AM.
intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to me?
6 a.m. The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Right, there we go.
No, it's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
That's where we found him,
Which
yeah.
is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note.
Why do people still keep going to like other places when people leave notes behind? Because that's like the #1 spot to get killed. Like first Sayaka's room. Wait, was Chihiro with a note? No, Chihiro wasn't killed with a note. But now this, like, if someone leaves a note behind, just ignore it.
I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that...
No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka is the piece of paper he has on him. Let's see, yep, the scrap of papier.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
How did you not try this yourself already? Dude.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Dude, you really don't have any brains,
Sorry,
do you?
no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Oh, but if those hammers were different sizes...
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
They couldn't have left the same fractures because they were different
So if
sizes.
Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Yeah, that's actually
Hell yeah!
pretty clever.
It's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally,
But we found
I
a
haven't
clean
a clue.
hammer.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not
Yeah.
possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The clean hammer. This case won't become clear until you figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
The spotless
Was
hammer.
it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Oh.
Shoot!
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Don't mind me.
What was used to
Kill it wasn't just maybe just as well.
Wait, do I just have
How was
to
the culprit?
point it at
How
that?
did
Maybe.
nobody-
I don't know.
Sounds like a Justice. Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
No!
Hammers.
Alright, that's the moment I've been waiting for.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
No, you sound a bit cornered, Celeste. Where's that? Alright, what are we... I mean, he's definitely an accomplice. What does have alright?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Yeah.
Based on the rules
Oh, I
that
think
have
this is
been
just a
laid out,
flashback,
more
but
than
the
one,
work-
only the one
oh.
who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
Alright, let's see.
That is.
But that only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Okay, all the way around maybe?
Shoot!
Based on the rule, even if more
I
than
really
one,
hate
only
it
the
if
one
you
who
have to be that
actually-
specific,
assuming the rule
actually.
holds true.
That is.
But
Like
that
you already
only
put
really
connection,
applies
but
if
it's
there's
not the
one
right
murder,
connection, like
right?
what?
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rule, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true.
Oh, that's stupid. No, that's actually stupid.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Like, it's still the same connection, so why would it
What do you
matter?
mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Alfred made to convince us that two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at it.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
There's only one person who seems to fit. I mean, yeah, you just point out Kyoko, but I really stick at Celeste, because Celeste also made Hifumi made the tea like earlier.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Well, you would do that to survive, which is one of your main gimmicks.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Screaming.
Shoot!
Oh. I guess it's... Yeah, I guess I can bring this... Sure.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
You know, I think I'm going to end this episode right here. I don't know how much left of the trial is to do, but I think we're close to the end. And also... Ooh. You know, two of my lesser favorite characters died. But now another one of my favorite characters is probably going to die. God fucking... After this, are there any characters that I like? Yeah, sure, Hina and Sakura I kinda like. Kyoko's alright as well. Oh, this is all just tragic. Well, see you guys then. Goodbye.